Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's session that happens to be about the last academic session in a sense. So we already have our faculty on ground. But before we go into the session, I wanted us to start on the notes of video. Yes, a very simple video. So I'm just going to start on that note. We're going to watch that video and then I'm going to introduce Paul. All right. Share. Please let me know if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, it's still loading, I guess.
Yeah, still loading.
Yeah, still wait for. Didn't know why it's taking so long to load. Okay, I think. Yeah, can you see my screen now?
Yes.
Okay. Let me. Okay.
To me, origami is transformation. You take a flat piece of paper and all of a sudden with a few folds it becomes something with a life of its own. Now if you scale that up to folding cardboard, we're able to transform not just paper, but we're transforming lives. Cardboard origami is the result of design with the focus of humanitarian aid. It can be used to provide shelter for the urban homeless or victims of natural disasters. It is recyclable, it's water resistant, and it's flame retardant. I went to the USC School of Architecture. I actually studied abroad in Southeast Asia. It was my first time experiencing third world poverty firsthand. That trip and that experience and then coming back to LA really made me determined to do something to utilize my skills to contribute to society. Skid Row is a term used for the area where homeless people live on the streets in every city. But in Los Angeles, it's actually 5 city blocks. Cardboard origami was able to do what I created it to do, which was to help the homeless. It basically folds into a fraction of the size, and then when you need it, you can open it up and get inside and use it.
I love it. The question is like, when can I get one?
It's not just about providing a more comfortable space on the streets, but it's really about creating a path where people can empower themselves with temporary shelter as the first step. The LA LGBT Youth Center is this amazing space. We were able to hire 5 homeless youth to fold and assemble the floors, the roofs, and the doors of about 100 cardboard origami units.
Folding cardboard origami was my first job I ever had. It was an amazing opportunity to work for this amazing cause that's helping homeless people at Skid Row.
It was a win for us and we got our shelters assembled, and it was a win for the participants because they got experience and it really turned out well. I am currently working on a new prototype of cardboard origami that will be completely waterproof but still recyclable. And those shelters will be utilized for disaster relief. To me, Mother of Invention is such an honor because it really encompasses what I'm trying to do with cardboard origami. Utilize innovation to help people. I think everyone deserves shelter, and that's what cardboard origami is able to provide.
Okay. Let me stop sharing my video. Stop share. Okay, yes. So okay, I think the house is larger now. Hello everyone. Okay, yes, can I share the link of the video? Fortunately, I downloaded the video, but I can drop the video in our WhatsApp if you want to watch it again, definitely. So I'll just go straight to introducing our um, our faculty for today is ready and is good to go. So quickly, Paul Jackson was born near Leeds, England, and a fine art educated. Paul has been a professional paper artist, paper engineer, writer, teacher since 1983. Specializing in origami and folded arts, he has one of the first origami, he was one of the first origami professionals in the West. He has written more than 40 books, the first of which were origami books for adults and children. His more recent books have been about the application of origami folding techniques into design, a subject he has taught in more than 80 universities and colleges in 13 countries to design students of many disciplines, including fashion, architecture, ceramics, jewelry, product design, and textiles. He was one of the pioneers of folding origami as fine art and has exhibited his folding artworks in many galleries and museums. He has also curated several groundbreaking exhibitions of origami, undertaking many commercial commissions for prints, screen-based media festivals, and more, and has been a consultant for companies such as Siemens, Nike, Tetra Pak, and Tata. In 2020, he married the Israeli origami artist and educator, Miri Golan, founder of Israeli Origami Center, 1993, and moved to Israel. Miri and Paul founded the Folding Together project and the Origametria program for using origami to teach geometry in 2018. Origametria was accepted by the Israeli Ministry of Education into the national mathematics curriculum and is studied weekly by 30,000 plus children of primary school age. In 2017, it was awarded the Sydney French Medal at the 50th anniversary convention of the British Origami Society in recognition of his outstanding contribution to origami. He lives in Herzliya, Israel, and holds dual UK and Israeli citizenship. He hopes one day to open the battling for Yorkshire. All right, so like I have said all week, one of the reasons that this session was put in the last, or as the last session was the fact that we have a grandmaster in Paul Jackson. It's an honor and a pleasure to have him. The wealth of experience that he has, and what he's doing, what he has been doing in the past in the origami world, and what he's still doing. It's an honor. It's a pleasure to introduce to you Paul Jackson. Paul, you can take it from here.
Thank you very much. Yes, and it's an honor to be invited. Thank you very much. I'm always happy to talk to new people, to talk about what I do, because I think it's an important part of design education, and to also let you experience it as well. I don't just like to talk, because I think the best part about folding is to fold, right? Not just to listen to somebody talking. So that's what we're going to do today. As we go through this, maybe I'll talk about other things in a wider context. I don't want to give a lecture at the beginning or something and send everybody to sleep. So let's start by doing some folding. So I asked if you could bring some A4 paper, just regular, boring, simple copy paper, A4 or something. Doesn't have to be exactly A4, it doesn't have to be copy paper, just something that's a rectangle about like this, and you can fold it. So maybe not newspaper, maybe not, Kleenex, something that you can fold. And you might need a pencil as well, because we're going to do some dots and maybe some lines on it. And what would be good is some way to cut it into 4 pieces. So I use a knife and I slice through the fold, or you could use perhaps a cutting knife and a cutting mat and a ruler if you wanted to, but some way to cut it nicely into 4 pieces after we've done some folding. Okay, so this is all we need. We don't need origami paper or some specialist paper. When I teach, I like to use very ordinary paper, because then my students don't feel that they're wasting this wonderful paper, this very expensive paper. With copy paper, it's so ubiquitous that they just use it and they don't care how many sheets they use. And that's the kind of attitude that I want, so long as we then recycle it, of course, which is what we do. So yes, I'm going to divide this into 3 parts. First part is we make something. The second part is we turn off the Zoom. What a crazy idea. So we're going to turn off the Zoom for about 30 or 40 minutes, so you can take some photographs of what you make, what you fold, some good photographs, not just junk, So for those 40 minutes, then I'll tell you later exactly what I want, but you can compose something and you can change your lighting, and then the best 1 or 2 to upload those to the WhatsApp group that I hope you've all joined, so that then we can look at them as a group, and I'll go through them and make various sort of comments as we go through. So I'm not going to be nasty, what the heck is this? Ugh! So I'm not going to be like that. So don't be scared to upload things. But if you take 20 photos, I don't need 20 photos. I need the best 1 or 2. Okay. Don't get too carried away with, oh yes, I'll send all 20. Just 1 or 2 is enough. Okay, so I'm going to teach something that I teach to my students. It's very simple, but I think it gives a lot of scope for some creativity as well. And then when you start to take photographs, then it becomes very creative. So, okay, so I hope you've all got something to work with. I need to move my camera and also my keyboard. So just give me a minute while I assemble this this rig. It took me thousands of dollars to build this, with a dirty garden cane and some poster tubes and a bit of foam board to hang my camera on. Here we go. I'm going to move it and hang it from the rod. I need to turn off some lights as well. So let me get the camera in position first. Yes, you can see my messy table here. Go around with that. That's it. Okay. Yep. That's about square, isn't it? That'll do. It'll do. Right. Can we see the wires in there? No, we can't. Just off screen. So I'll turn this off here, and I'll turn this one off. And I've got a third light, which should be good enough to illuminate a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Get rid of the mouse. We don't need that. Okay, so this is the working area that we have. And this is my sheet of A4 paper. Okay, so if you're in gallery view in Zoom, then maybe you can see everybody, and I'm really small. So you need to go to view and then speaker view, if you don't know that already. And that makes this big and everybody else very small. So you can see me better. There we go. Oh, thank you. Yeah, thank you. Okay, so yes, I've got this very expensive HD camera that has a lovely habit of going out of focus because it's so sensitive. I wish I'd got something cheaper. Anyway, we're going to fold it into 4. So just fold in half. So this is now A5, yeah? and then fold this in half again. So fold in half. This is now a 6. And we have 4 layers. So as we open it, we have 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4 layers as we go through. 4 layers. And then you need maybe a pencil or a pen. It doesn't really matter. Something that you can write with. And we're going to make a dot. Now, there are 2 places not to make a dot. One is exactly in the middle, because that's boring. And the other is near the edge. So wherever you put it doesn't really matter. But I don't know, maybe, of course, everybody does what I do, don't they? You know, well, I would. So a dot that's not in the middle and not very close to the edge. And then we're going to make 3 lines that meet at the dot. And there's a couple of rules here. So the first time you do it, you may do this a bit wrong, and you may want to move lines around. That's okay. So one rule is that when you make 3 lines, they're not kind of symmetrical on the paper, you know, because again, that's just boring if you make things that are symmetrical. I know origami people love symmetry, but it's not always so fascinating. So I'm going to make a line about here. So that's my first line. So it's not going 90 degrees to the edge, although I suppose it could, but it's a bit more interesting if it's at an angle. And then 2 more lines. So the rule here is that the angles, the 3 angles between the 3 lines are all between 90 degrees and 180 degrees. So if, for example, I made a second line here and a third line there, that's no good, because I've got 2 angles less than 90 and 1 enormous angle that's bigger than 180. Just realized I don't have an eraser. Oh, never mind. Oh, you got one on my pencil. So they're usually rubbish, aren't they? Okay. So a bit of planning. This is why you might need to move them around a bit. So I am making this up as I go along, believe it or not. I'm not kind of trying to copy something I know is really good. Okay, so this is my second line. And then the third line, try not to make the 3 angles each about the same, you know, because that's also a bit boring. Try to make one angle bigger than the others, or smaller, or all a bit different. So I don't know, maybe that, or maybe take it over here, maybe over there, take it over there, maybe. No, that's a bit equal. But there, okay, yeah, maybe over there. So I'll take one over here. Of course, it helps if you talk to yourself all the time. So 3 lines, and the angles are all between. Is that a bit? They're a bit equal, aren't they? Yeah. Okay, so I'm going to move one. I'm going to move one. You think I know what I'm doing, don't you? And I don't. Best way to teach. Never be completely in control. So yeah, maybe something like that. Yeah, that's better. That's better, Paul. Well, yeah, go on. Okay. So 3 angles, all between 90 and 180, and not too symmetrical. Maybe not going to the edge at 90 degrees, because that's a bit boring as well. Okay. So what we're going to do now is we're going to fold through all the layers at the same time to make 3 mountain folds. I guess you know what mountain folds are. 3 mountain folds that meet at the dot. So any order, any way you want to do it. But I think to pick the paper up and just kind of bend the paper back, and be careful to stop right at the dot. Don't go beyond the dot. So you're folding on the line, a good sharp fold, but end that fold at the dot. Don't know if you can see if I move the shadow. Yeah, can you see that? So I've ended the fold at the dot. Here's the fold. Do another one. So it meets the second one there, make a nice corner. And then from that corner, make sure that you make a good corner. Don't make a bit of a mess of it if you can help it. Then go down here, and that's my third fold. So I should be able to just kind of squeeze the corner between 2 fingers and a thumb or something to make the 3 corners meet here. And on the other side, you have 3 valleys that meet at a corner. So this is what we've done. We've made 3 mountain folds between 90 degrees and 180 degrees that are not too sort of symmetrical on the paper, although I guess you could do that. Okay, so when we open this, back to A4, then you'll see that some of them are valleys, some of them are mountains, some of them look like mirror images of each other, but actually they're all the same. If they're all turned round and rotated in different ways, they're all the same. So this is what I want you to do now. I want you to cut down the A5 line, the vertical center line, the first fold that you made, and then to cut along here as well, to cut into 4 separate pieces. Those 4 pieces will be identical, yeah? So this is just a quick way to make 4 pieces that are all the same. So as I'm going to use my knife, I kind of go through the fold, but I need my handle off the table so it's horizontal. So I'll have to do it off camera down here. So I've cut it into 2 pieces like this, and now I can fold each half in half and cut again with my knife. These knives, I do recommend them. I think this is a really good way to cut paper if you've never used one. They're not very sharp. It's not sharp. I don't cut myself, and you don't need a point on the end, so you can round it. So it's not particularly dangerous. Although I have been arrested twice for carrying it through airports. Stupid me. Putting it in hand baggage, not realizing it's a deadly weapon, Hello, sir, and why are you carrying that knife? I'm an origami artist. Oh, yes, sir. Can you prove it? So we have 4 pieces, and if you kind of arrange them on the table, then you'll see that they are all the same. So I'll just pause for half a minute or so to let you catch up if you're a bit behind. One of them is a bit dirty, isn't it? The one with all the pencil marks on it. So we can perhaps use this as a kind of template or whatever, because the other 3 are more pristine. They look better when you photograph them. You don't have all the muck on from the pencil or from the pen. Okay, so I'm going to draw on mine in a rather messy way, because I'm the teacher. I know what to do. So I'm going to make mine very clear and quite graphic when I draw, but you can make yours more minimal if you like. What I'm going to do is just take one piece. So I'm going to write ABC in each of these 3 areas, so I know which is A, which is B, which is C. So I can write an A and a B and a C. Later you can erase those if you're bothered about your pencil marks, but do that with certainly the 3 clean ones. Maybe we could do the other one as well. So ABC, ABC, and then one more time, but always in the same place, so the same, not necessarily exactly in the same millimeter place, but the same 3 places are ABC. don't put A, B, C in different places. Okay, so we have A, B, C. My camera's going out of focus. A, B, C, A, B, C. Now, we're going to make reverse folds. So do I have a bit of origami paper here? Or I've got some other, yeah, I can use pink. All right. So we're going to make some reverse folds. Now, if you make a reverse fold, show you, well, I'm sure you know, but when you make a reverse fold, you make 4 folds that meet at a point. 4 folds meet at a point. They're like that. Can you see? 4 folds meet at a point. And when you make a reverse fold, 3 of them will be mountains and the 4th is a valley. Or from the other side, 3 of them are valleys and 1 is a mountain, but it's the same thing, isn't it? So 3 mountains. Oh, look, we have 3 mountains here. So we're going to make reverse folds. But this valley fold here, where do we put it? Well, we have 3 choices. This valley fold can be in A or B or C. In fact, it could be in all of them, but just one more fold will make a reverse fold. So we need one valley. So is it A, B, or C? And because we have 3 examples here, 3 different pieces of paper, we can put it into A on one piece, B on another piece, and C on the 3rd piece to see what we get. So this is what we're going to do. But can you see that because my paper is symmetrical, then the angles are the same. So my angle here on this side, let me just draw. So this is my kind of letter Y shape, 3 mountains. This is my valley in the middle. So this angle is the same as that angle, and this angle is the same as that one. Yeah. But you can make reverse folds without this line of symmetry. This is a symmetrical line, isn't it? The one we made first. So the angles are not all the same, left and right. So this is what we're going to do. And this is the part that may take a little bit of thinking about if you've never done this before. Okay, so take a piece of paper. So we're looking at A. Let's make a valley fold in A, but where in A? Well, the rule is here that when we make a reverse fold, the paper will go flat. Okay, so there's only one place we can put the valley fold, so the paper will be flat. Really, we can put it anywhere we like, and that will make a relief. It will not make the paper flat. So there's only one place where we can put the valley fold inside A to make the paper fold flat. Now with this here, that place is halfway between these arms of the letter Y. Can you see the letter Y? And these are the 2 arms. If we bring the arms together, then that makes the valley fold for us, and the angles are the same left and right. However, that doesn't happen here because the angles are kind of random. So what we're going to do is this. Maybe I just kind of make a mess on my paper. You don't have to do this. So what we're going to do is this. We're going to take the 2 folds that bound the A area. So I've got this fold here on the right and this long fold at the bottom of A. So we take these 2 folds and then we make the 3rd fold. Now watch me do that. Can you just watch me do this? That I'm closing A and I'm making this 3rd mountain fold and I'm closing A. I'm closing A down and I'm pushing it flat on the table. So my 3 mountain folds each fold, and I have a new valley fold inside, which is there. Can you see it going straight up? So the angles left and right of that valley are not the same because the 2 mountain folds have not come together. So on mine, my angle on the left of the valley is smaller than the angle on the right. Maybe yours is different. Here's my valley. So I've got this angle here and a different angle over there. They are not symmetrical. They are not the same. But the paper will go flat. This is the key thing here. Okay, so we've done that with A. The valley fold is in A. Let's put that to the side. Do you get what we're going to do? Do you understand? Can you guess?
Paul, can you go over the fold again? The getting that value. Just one.
Yeah. So I'll use my rough piece of paper that I kind of drew on at the beginning. Here's my A, B, C. So I've got 3 mountain folds. So we're going to put a valley fold that goes to the dot somewhere inside A. So what we do is this: the 2 folds that define this area we call A, we have to fold them. We have to bring them towards each other, kind of close A, make A fold. And when we do that, we fold this 3rd mountain at the same time, the one between B and C. So when we fold all 3 mountains at the same time and make a valley fold in A, closing A, the paper will make a fold where it wants to. There's only one place it can be. So this is what we have to do to fold the 2 mountains that bound the area we call A, to make a valley fold that goes through A, and then we can push the paper flat. There's no valley in B, no valley in C. The valley is in A. There it is.
Right.
And the paper will go flat.
Right.
So this is what we've done with A. 3 mountain folds, and then this valley finds its own position. Let's do it again with B. Now my B is here at the top right. So again, I'll just draw this. Maybe you don't need to do this because it makes a bit of a mess, but I'm trying to be clear when I teach. And this is B here. Here's B. So we do the same thing. We close B. We make a valley fold that will go through B from this corner in the middle. So we have to close B. Try to fold B in half. It won't probably go exactly in half. Actually, mine is exactly in half. That's boring. So I'm folding all my mountains and I'm closing B, and by some weird coincidence, B is exactly folding in half on mine. That's really boring. Sorry about that. But can you see I've got a valley fold here now that's going through B? And the paper will fold flat. The valley finds its own position. And you can just, push the paper flat. And that's made the valley fold go through B. So I can just make it. And I've got one angle on one side, and actually it's the same on the other side, but that's a coincidence. So B will fold in half. So when we look at A and B, the first one that we did and the second one that we've just done, they're completely different. They look totally different. Same idea, same technique, but A and B give us different forms. One more time. C. So this is C down here at the bottom. Again, I'll just draw these 3 mountains. You don't need to do this, perhaps. So same idea. These are the 2 folds here on the right and this fold on the left. We have to make a valley that goes through C. So I bring those 2 folds together, pardon me. And when I do that, I need to fold my 3rd mountain so I can close the paper, close it down so the valley fold goes through C. And hopefully this time, I don't fold in half. So now push that flat and my valley finds its own position, going through C, and this is where it is, something like that. And I've got a big angle over here and a little angle over there on mine. Yours may be totally different. So we have 3 different results. Three different results depending whether you fold depending whether you make the valley fold in A, in B, or in C. And maybe yours looks a little bit like mine if you copied my drawing, or maybe you've got something totally different. You can, keep moving the dot. If you want to try this again, if you want to move the dot, put it in a different place. If you think, no, I'll put it in a really bad place, just move the dot and do it again. Sometimes people don't do it too well the first time because the dot is not in the right place. And maybe the lines, the 3 lines, the 3 mountain lines were not made, in the right places either. I think it's a matter of luck, to be honest, whether you get something great or something okay or something that doesn't work. The best way to learn is to make mistakes. I know there's always a pressure when you're doing a Zoom workshop to be successful all the time. Everything is amazing, everything works. Said, wow, 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 first time. But actually, when I teach, then my students often fail, which is good, I think. I like them to fail. They don't like it, but I like it because it means they have to learn something to correct themselves. Okay, so this is what we have. We have these 3 forms that are quite interesting in themselves, probably no symmetry anywhere. Now, this node, this corner, this node can stand up like we're in Switzerland or somewhere looking at, snowy mountains, and this is the top of the mountain peak, but you can do something with it. I don't know whether you're aware of this. What you can do is to hold it in your 2 hands and then take a thumb or whatever and just pop it, just pop, and it will gently pop inside out. Just gently pop, and then you can perhaps gather the folds together a bit and it will make a very different form. So it can be a kind of positive node coming up towards you like the top of a snowy mountain, or you can invert it, just push it and pop, and it will pop inside out, and you can give it a little bit more form just by individually strengthening the folds. So do that with all of them. Just try. So here's my B valley. So again, I can pop and it will invert. Sometimes they go very flat, but you can really fold like I'm doing now. Really fold those mountains again and make something quite interesting. And then this C1 again will pop, and you can invert that and see what you get. So there's actually six designs that you've got here. 3 of them are these mountain peaks, and 3 is when you invert those peaks so it pops downwards. So there are 6 possible forms. Okay, so what are we going to do? What we're going to do is I need to move my camera again and perhaps turn some lights on. I'm not sure how this is going to work because I want to talk about how we can photograph these. What? This guy's crazy. Well, actually, they're rather photogenic if you know what to do. So I'm going to move my camera. No, what I'm going to do first, I'm going to invert all 3 of them because that's usually more helpful. So I'm going to invert that one. Maybe I do it under the camera here, although it'll be a bit hard to see. When you invert, sometimes, can you see that now stands up? Maybe it doesn't look all that interesting in the camera because it's the wrong angle for the camera. If I turn it to here, oh, it still stands. If I turn it here, no, it falls over. Turn it to the fourth side, falls over. So sometimes when you invert them, sometimes they stand up. Sometimes they don't. You just need to keep trying. Oh, that one stands on a short edge. You need to try all the edges. Probably one of the edges it will stand, maybe two. Maybe not every piece that you make will stand on an edge. Maybe only one piece that you've made with the valley in A, B, or C will stand up. Yeah, that's not standing up for me. That doesn't work. That doesn't work. That won't stand on an edge. So I've made 3 of them. One doesn't work. Okay. I don't care. And 2 of them do. 2 of them will stand. So what I'm going to do is this. I'm going to just take them out of the camera shot and going to stand them up somewhere else. And then I'm going to move my camera. Hopefully I can do this without pulling everything to pieces. Yeah, this is where you get to see all the mess everywhere. Okay, so is that enough light? Yeah. So that's my piece with a kind of clean background. Can you see it? Looks a bit blue, doesn't it? Maybe it's the color of my light. But you can see that it's sort of standing up. And I can turn it round, maybe turn it round to the other side, and it looks, different there. Quite interesting, actually. Sometimes you get these creeping shadows on the curves, and then other times, like here, it's more kind of graphic, stronger. This is very blue, isn't it? On the actual kind of shelf here, it's cream colored, but the camera makes it look blue. Bit weird. Okay, so that doesn't really stand up any other way, but I can still kind of put it somewhere. I can do something with it, and I can really get my camera down low, and it almost looks like a piece of architecture. Now you see that, it's looking almost like some kind of airport building or whatever. Maybe even make that quite strong and turn it around or give it some weight. Even put my camera down there quite low and sort of film it from below so it looks monumental, looks very big. You don't have to be a kind of helicopter, makes things look very small. So if you photograph from the same level or from low down, you can make things look big. So okay, that's one of the pieces. The other piece is this, which I popped. I think it stands on this end. Yeah, it stands there. So that's the other piece. And I can, turn it round in the light. I can get different lighting effects. If I wanted, I could, that's a bit boring, isn't it? That's just white and white and more white. But if you turn it round, suddenly it becomes more interesting. Can I turn it over? Does that work? No, not really. But if I turn it to the other side, then that's quite interesting as well. And if I kind of do this with it, then again, I've got some kind of a building, big sort of monumental structure there that you can imagine. So there are ways to make these quite photogenic, almost like pieces of architecture or like big sculptures in a public place. And what I do with my students, they take photographs and I ask them to make little people, paper people, to stand by the side. So they put little paper people by the side, so you get a sense of scale, or if they know how to do it, to import digital people into the photo. So the people are digital rather than paper. Just anything, just even a kind of L shape of paper that stands on the tab and you draw a simple figure on it. It doesn't have to be a work of art, just a stick figure, or even putting 2 together. You can put 2 together, can't you? Is this going to work? which this stands up, doesn't it? So put this there, so you can get quite interesting arrangements of shadows and light, and they become quite environmental. Or this can maybe go in front or goes on the other side. I don't know. I mean, you can play all day, can't you? Yeah, that's it's not quite right. Maybe over here a bit. Maybe. Don't know. So what I want you to do is to take some photos. I'll just put this back where it was originally, so you don't get too seasick. Don't turn my lights back on. Ugh. Get rid of my stick. Okay, so what I want you to do is, I'm so blinded by the light. What I want you to do is to use your phone and the camera on the phone, and I hope you've set up somewhere where you can take some photographs, and take some photographs. Some really nice ones. You can play with your light, you can move your lights around, perhaps you can certainly move the paper around. If you want to make some more pieces with this technique, you can do that, maybe with color, maybe move the dot or the same dot in the same place, but put the 3 lines in different places, and maybe change the proportion of the rectangle. So it's a longer rectangle or it's a square. These take a minute to make, don't they? They don't take any time. So it's not like it's a big project to fold things. And take some good photographs, really take some care. You can use the filters as well. My students, for some reason, they're always taking photos. They never seem to use the filters. So if it's a bit dark, if it's a bit, the contrast isn't very good, if it's a bit blue or a bit pink, then you can usually change these if you use the filters in your phone. And what can be quite a kind of average photo can actually look rather good if you use your filters carefully. You can also crop. So if you want to go in tight, if you want to take out some of the background that's in the shot, okay. So whatever you've got set up, use it to take some photographs. There's 40 minutes, okay? 40 minutes for this. So we're going to close the Zoom. Bit scary. Yes, we're going to close the Zoom for 40 minutes to give you time to play, to experiment, to make a few more. You can take 100 photos if you like, but please just upload 4 as a maximum. Don't upload 100 photos. And then we'll get back together after 40 minutes and I'll go through, if there's time, what everybody has done and make a few comments and observations. So I'm trying to get you to work creatively, because I think it's not, origami tends to be do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, finished. There's a sequence to an end. With this, it's just a technique. Where you put the dot, where you put the folds, the size and the shape and the color of the paper are your choices. How you light them, how you make a background are your choices. So this is what I want you to experiment with, to really, play and see what you can make and have a good time and take risks. And so I guess, well, first of all, does anybody not understand?
I think a few people got lost in the middle of the process, but I'm also very mindful of the time, because we're going to have 40 minutes to take pictures. We're going to have the rest of the time to also analyze. So perhaps it is not as many people as possible that gets it can just go ahead with the photographs, and then others can rewatch. I'm sure that by the time you rewatch the video, some of the things that the little details that you maybe missed can be gotten because of the time. So 40 minutes added to what we already have is almost, we're almost by at 4. So yes, but I see some comments in the session that some people got lost in the middle of the session.
Okay, if people got lost, that's not too important. I think what is important is that even if you just make a regular reverse fold on a piece of paper, photograph it. Open it out, stand it up, turn it around, try this, try that, do that, experiment with it, play with it. Doesn't have to be exactly what I said, but do something, okay? Doesn't have to be exactly what the teacher said. You don't get, extra points for doing what the teacher says. So if you were a bit lost, if you didn't quite understand how to do this, just do something, even a simple reverse fold, and find a way to photograph it so it looks wow. This is about creativity. It's not about, ticking boxes. I did this, I did this, I did this. So maybe that's the unusual thing about this workshop, that I'm not so bothered that people do what I asked, but I would appreciate it if people, in the spirit of the workshop, had a go at taking photographs of something. And maybe this idea of something really monumental, something big, something in the park, some building, some public sculpture, some structure, rather than thinking of it as a little piece of paper. Do you want to make it a bit less time? We can make it half an hour if you liked.
Oh, 30 minutes. I think 30 minutes would be great.
30 minutes?
So that you'd have enough time to just look through the pictures.
So 30 minutes or 40?
That 30 is great.
30. Okay, let's make this 30 minutes.
So someone is asking, are we to use all the 3 in one shot?
I don't know. I don't know. Yes and no and maybe, and I've no idea. This is your work, not mine. Again, I'm not, just checking boxes. Okay, I did this and I did that and I did. It's your photography. It's your paper, your folding, your photography. You are in charge of the decisions, not me. Oh, I've got to make a decision. You choose. And if it doesn't work, turn it round, upside down, move the camera, move the light.
Fantastic. Okay, when do the 30 minutes start?
So that would be 27 minutes past the hour.
Okay, yes, absolutely. 27 minutes.
Let's call it half past. Let's say half past.
Okay, half past. Great.
Half past, to have taken your photos and to have uploaded 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 to the group.
Great.
No more, please.
All right, guys.
Okay, any question? Anybody still unsure? Scary, isn't it, when I'm asking you to make a decision, not telling you what to do? But, you'll be fine. I mean, I do this quite often with my students. I've done it before with origami groups, and it usually works really well. At first, you're not quite sure what to do, and then you get into it. Oh, wow. Oh, yeah. Takes time. Half past.
Okay. Okay, so we'll be gone. We'll be gone now, and we'll be back by 3:30.
3:30 your time. Yes.
Yeah, 3:30 our time. All right. See you on the other side.
Good. So thank you. I'll see you all in half an hour.
Absolutely.
Bye for now.
Bye for now.
You can close the group.